Hi guys, welcome to this workshop series of day one. So now today we will learn the CSS part. Yesterday we have learned about the HTML part, like how HTML works on the website, the basic syntax of the website in HTML, and how we can implement it on our web page. So today we will learn about the CSS. So if we're talking about the CSS, then what is CSS first? So it's a style sheet language which is made only for the HTML. क्योंकि इसमें अगर हम देखें कि when we see like when we go any website there is an animation in the like there is a animations, there is a colors, there's a lot of glittery uh, like you can see the colors as well. So this is all because of CSS, which is cascading style sheet. So if we are talking about the cascading style sheet, it has majorly three types. The first is inline CSS, second internal CSS, and third external CSS. So first, in the majority of use, we will be using external CSS. So when we will create any project, majorly we use the external CSS. But today I will explain all three of them: what inline CSS is, what internal CSS is, and what external CSS is. But if we think about it, the first we have the inline CSS. So as the word define itself, inline CSS. So it's a CSS which we define inside its line. Second, we have internal CSS. So internal CSS, it means we are applying the CSS internally inside a single web page. We will code it and I will explain it to you. The third, we have a external CSS. In external CSS, we will create a separate page or a separate file for our CSS. So let's code it. Now I have opened the VS Code and just create a new file with the name with a simple name of let's say I'm saving with this a CSS, css.html. First, we will create our HTML page, then save, and in the title, I will be writing day two of CSS, day two. Okay. Then in the body, I'm just writing a p tag. P tag is refers to the paragraph as we have learned yesterday, and I'm typing hello world, the basic command for every programming language. And now I will go to the home and just open this CSS file. Double click on this, and as you can see here, there is written hello world. So I'm just making this okay, perfect. So this is a paragraph tag which is showing hello world. So now what I will do is to make it more glorious, more effectful for our web page. Because when we go to any web page, we can see there is not only a text but also some colors, some animations, some styling as well. So we will do that here. So now I will be creating a new file which is called this CSS. Extension would be a .css. Earlier for the HTML file, we have created .html file, but if we want to create a CSS file, then the extension would be .css. So this I will be writing style.css and save this. So inside this file, I will be writing my whole CSS styling. So let me get back to you to our types of the CSS. So here I am using external CSS. For the time's sake, just forget about all three types of CSS. Just remember the one type. It has only one type for the temporary period of time. Just remember that we have only external CSS. And in the whole workshop, we will use only the external CSS. So how external CSS work? We will go to our code editor and the Chrome. Okay, so what I will be doing here is to link my external this file to this CSS file, because right now as I can see, there is no anything, like there is nothing, any tag which is defining this file. They are not connecting each other. So what I need to do is to connect this HTML file into this CSS file, or I can say this CSS file to this HTML file. So what I will be do here, I will type link because I want to link that file. File. I want to link the style sheet. There is a pre-written code. I just typed link and then entered. There is written a ref dot style sheet. It means this link is refers to the style sheet, and this href means what is the name of the style sheet, like the path of the style sheet. So my is style.css. Will be saving this, and now my external css, which is a file called style.css, has been linked to the css.html. So now I will be coding in css. Like the first tag in css is p. So here this p is refers to the paragraph tag. You can see here this p tag. So now I have linked this style.css with this html file, and in this tag, in this p tag, I will be doing a css. So if we want to add any file, any attribute in the CSS file, then we need to consider, is it a tag, is it a class, or is it an ID? I will explain it later, what is class and IDs and so on. Okay. So right now, wait a minute. I just cut it. Okay. Here. Okay. So right now I have this only P tag. So what I will be do here, I just write P and then curly braces and then closed it. So inside these bracket, I will be coding in CSS. So if I want to change, let me just zoom it so that we can see it better. So now it would be a more visible. Too big, 200 is fine. Okay. So I want to change this text, this color of text. What I will be writing, color, and then like the name of the color. I can do two things. Maybe also I can do three things. Either I can just write simply a red, then save this and just reload. So now as you can see, our text color has been changed because I wrote color, make this text color into red. So it does it. So this is the direct, this is called the normal texting. The keyword, either we can do hash, and there is a color picker. You can simply type in the browser color picker, and from here you can type, you can take the any hex code you want. Right now I want this red color, so I will be copying from this here. You don't need to remember this, and just uh, let me, okay, just copy paste it here, save this, and then go back here and then refresh this. So this will also work. And this also come which is called the RGB. So it is recommended to use RGB, either RGB or hex. It is not recommended to use keyword, but you can use keyword as well. Okay, so this is how you color any text. So let me just comment it out. Okay, so there is a sign. If you want to comment any of the attribute in the CSS, you just type slash star star slash. Okay, so or what you can do, you can just a little bit copy this. Don't copy this. I mean, make a select of this and then press Control and slash. It will automatically make it comment. Okay. So now the second attribute is letter testing. So uh, letter spacing. Sorry, letter spacing is refers to how much space you want between your letters. So if I want, if I type 20 pixel, then save this file and then reload. So as you can see, this letter, the distance between this letter and this letter has 20 pixels. So that's how you can make the space between the letters. So I will just comment it out as well. So the next we have the text align. Let me just save this. So right now I have just commented two like all the attributes in the p tag. So if I reload this, nothing will happen. The text will remain same because I have commented out. Commented out. Comment means it will show on the website, and sorry, it will show on the file, but it will not run by the website. It will not run by the browser. Okay. It is usually used for the documentation or the code which is not required but needs to be in the code. So the next we have the text align. Text align it, like it means where you want to align your text, at the left, which is here, at the right, which is here, or at the center. So right now I have, by default, the text align is defined as this left side. But if you want to align the text on the right side, like here, so what I will be doing here, just type right and then control S save and then refresh this file. Okay. So now we have the hello world on the right side of the page. So this is how you make the left, right, and if you make it center, then just type center, save this file, and then reload. So it will be on the center. Now I will be commenting this. So the next is uh, so our next is text decoration. Text decoration. Text decoration, it refers to how, like, this is for the whether you want underline text or you want overline text or line through text. I will explain you. So first I will write underline text, save this file, and see, this is our underline text. And then this is called underline text, and there is overline text. It has three attributes: underline, overline, and line through. So this is the overline. It means line above it. So other than this, we have the line through. Line through means it cuts it out. It's like yesterday we have learned about the del keyword. It does the same. It cuts in the middle of the text. So the next properties we have is about the list. So these properties was about the text element, like how you can modify your text, the use of CSS. And right now we are using external CSS. Remember, this is called the external CSS. Why it is called the external CSS? Because we are creating separate files for our CSS. Okay. So the next attribute is for list. So this is all for the text. Let me just save this. Okay, so there is, I don't need to comment it out. Okay. Mhm. Okay, so let's save this file. So what I will do here, I will just create a new file. I will create the ordered list. List would be, let's say, first is Apple, and likewise I will be creating a few list with the name of, let's say, first is Apple, second is orange, third is, let's say, a guava, and third is pineapple, fourth is pineapple, and let's say a fifth one also. Fifth one is maybe, you can say, a grapes. Get this file and then reload this. So as you can see here, we have the ordered list. So in the ordered list, let's say this is the unordered list. Maybe it will work as well. We don't need it. So right now we have this ordered list. So what this ordered list refers, it will make a list with an order. It is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if I want the reverse of it, then what I will be doing, I will just type reversed and save this file and then refresh it. So as you can see, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, the order gets changed. Okay. So right now I don't want this. So I will be removing and save the file. So now I will go to this .css file. So let me just refresh this. Okay, so it has been done. So now, so now what I will be doing here is to modify our this list. So just write ol and then li. So what it means here, I wrote only one element tag, which is p, and now I'm writing two elements with a space. So what it means? It means inside this ol, which is a ordered list, find this li tag. It means there it means there is a ordered list tag in which is inside this we have list element. Inside that element, we need to make several changes using CSS. So how will I do that? So there is a element which is called the list style item. And we write list style type, and let's say I want to, I don't want these type like the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't need anything. I just want the list only. So what I will do here, so I will type none. Let me just click here. I will type none, control S save, and then refresh. This These numbers are gone right now because the list style type refers to we don't want any type of listing. We don't want any type of list. So list, you can say the orders. Okay, we don't want that. So now we have the list type style, and the next we have the list style. You can say the position. So I will be typing the list style position, and if I type outside, then control is save and then refresh. There is nothing to change because it is already a outside method which is pre-built, you can say. So now again I will be typing a inherit quality inherit, and I will be saving this and then refresh this. So here is also the same. Why is that? Because till now I have just used two elements, which is first I have tried the outside, and the second we have like I wrote the inherit. Why is it not working? Because right now we haven't the extra styling of the CSS. We haven't used the extra styling of the list. Outside and inherit is a basic syntax which is required for changing to list when we are using CSS in extra positions. Okay, we will learn it in the responsive website design in our day 4. So I will be explaining to more about this. So how we can make it more like more positioning in the list, so we can change it accordingly as the website move. So for that, for today I will I just wanted to make introduce of this tag so that you can if you wanted to learn about it, then you can go for it and save this file. And then we have these two tags. Now I have the border tags. First we have learned about the p tag. Second we have the ordered list tags. Basically this is a list type tags. Now we will be learning about the border tags, what border tags are. So what I will be do here, I will just create let's say a button of let's say a click me, then save this, yes, and just refresh this file. Okay, so now I have this click me button. So again, I will write this button tag. Inside this, I will be defining our border properties. So what are border properties we have? So the first we have the border bottom, which is which will be write as border bottom. And in the border bottom, let's suppose before the bottom we want a radius, border radius. I will type a 20 pixel and then save this file and then refresh this. So as you can see here, as I change this border radius, this is looking a pretty good. Before it was like this rectangular. So what I did here, I just said border radius means, let me just comment this out first and then control S save, just refresh this. And right now it is a rectangular, it has a straight line. But as I write border radius, it means it curves it, it makes it more bendable till 20 pixels, or starting from the 0 pixel and till the 20 pixel. So if I uncomment this and then save this file again and then just reload it, it will become this. So inside this click me file, click me button, I want this button, this inside this button, I want the text to be changed. I want to, like in the hello world, we make the color red of the text, and right now in the like in the same property, I also want the click me button to be say or with a different color. So what I will write in the same color property, which is let's say take this a blue, save this file and then again reload this. So now the text inside the button has been changed because we have applied the color property here. Okay, so now, so you might have observed here when I click this file, just say just like see this. So this like the ugly border is coming, it means the button has been clicked. So it is a little like in the design point of view, it is not a good learning practices to show this to the user. So either you can remove this, or you can be like that. So if you want to remove this, so what you can do is outline, save this file, and then just reload. So now as you click on this, this will not come, and now this is look more prettier than the previous one. But you can work without this as well. It is up to you whether you want this, like if I reload this, whether you want this border or not after when we click. Okay, so the next we have the border color. So the border color, let's say this border color, we I want to give the border color a green. Control as save, and then refresh this. So if you observe here, I think this is not visible properly. Now you can see this border color is changed a bit. The color is now up green, and inside it, its color, the text color is blue. So this is how you can change the border color and as well as the text color. So now I want to, like, I don't want, I just want this side and this side. I don't want the upper, like the top border and the below border. Sometimes we don't need it. So how we can do that? So for that, you just need to write the top border, like the border top, and just write none. Save this with Control S, and then just refresh this. So now you can see the top border has gone. Or what you can do is to it is to make it colorful as well. Or, so let's suppose right now what we have done is to remove the top border. So as well as we can remove the bottom border as well. So for that, we need to write the same, but the top will become bottom, and then save this file and then refresh the browser. So now this button is looking more like the fancy, because right now this button is clickable and it has a like the better styling. It's like you can compare. We earlier we have it is not, let me just comment it out so that you can see the earlier button. In the starting stage, we have the button like this ugly looking button, and with the use of the CSS, we have a very good button here. Just comment this out, move this, save this file, and refresh. So now, with the use of CSS, we have this button. Okay, so till now we have learned what how to change the color of the of the border, the blue text, the green text, how to remove the border, how to change the border, how to remove the like the border of the color, and in the last, you want, if you want the border to be a more bigger, a more width. So what you can do is like the border and just type width, and I want the width of 50 pixel. I just made it too big so that we can see it and we can observe it. So see, the border width is 50 pixel. So what if I, the above is not changing because I made it border top none, because I don't want a border in the above. So I just commented out because I want border in the above and bottom as well. So I saved the file CSS and just reload this file. So now as you can see here, now this button is more like better than without CSS. Okay, so we have the border width, we have the border color, outline color, border radius, border width, border top. So that's how you change the button. So right now we have learned the text properties, the list properties, and the button properties. So and not only these properties, if you observe here, if I write border, there is many properties, but no one, but like we don't need all these properties. As you go in the field of web development, you will encounter that you will use 10 out of 3 elements only. 90% of the time we use only these 3 elements. So like that's why I picked the most common elements for you so that you can get started early. So so till now we have introduced the text, how we can improve text, how we can change the list, how we can change the button. So like any questions so far? Hmm. So any questions about the text styling, buttons and all? Like the border radius, list, anything? Okay, good. Okay, so now uh, what I will be doing. Till now, we have learned the three properties. The first for tags, second for list, and the third for buttons. So now, again, if we want to increase the property of the element, like if I'm writing the h, not the h1 tag, again I'm writing with the p1 tag, which is a p tag. In the p I'm typing the welcome to the workshop day two, and I'm saving this and then refresh this file and then go below. Welcome to the day two. Wait, I think it's not visible from the bottom. Let me do one thing. PR tag. Okay. So now what I did here, I just applied the p tag here, and I want to change the styling of the text because in this web page, I just following the same type of font, like the font sizing, like the font style. All these are same. So what if I want the different font? So how can I do that? So first I will comment this out because the both p tag are same. And again, I will be writing p tag. And what I will be do here now, I will change the font size, even the font size and the font family and the font style. So what is the font style? If you go here and type Google Fonts and go to here, these are free websites by Google from which you can pick up the fonts of the website for your website, and you don't need to download it. You can just paste a link of that particular font if you want that particular font to use in your web page. So let me just go to the maximize and let me take any font. Let's take this font and select this style, and here you can see the link. So just copy this link with Control C, go to your code editor in the HTML. I said if you want to link anything in your website, you have to go in your HTML file and in the head section, because if we want to link our CSS file, we linked in the head tag. If we want to link our font family, then also we need to write this on our head section. And tab in this file, and now we can use it in our css. So what I'm doing here, I'm just making two changes. First, I don't have that particular font on my website. So what I'm doing here, I'm taking a link from the Google. Just give me that particular link, give me that particular font, and now I will use that font. So how will I use that font? By using this font family. Copy this from here and just paste it here. So here, so what I have done, I have done two things. First, I just import the link. I just import the font in this HTML file in the head section so that we can use this font in this whole web page. And now I applied, I want to use this font on my website in the p tag, right now on the p tag. So now if I go again to my website, which is day 2, and just reload this, and now the font has been changed. Okay, so you can see the this is a earlier font and this is the change font. Okay, so this is how we change our font. So the next, let me just zoom it out. No, 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 not this. This. Okay. So the next we have the font size. What if we want to increase the font size? We have for the increasing font size we have H1, H2, H3, H4. But the biggest we have the H1. What if I want to make more bigger text than H1? So how can I do that? We can do that by creating font size. Font size and then just make it 100 pixel. You can make any values. Save this file and then reload this. So now this is 100 pixel big. It is like the bigger than H1. And I make it very small as well. I can make it 10 pixels and just reload this now. This is very small. I can make it even more smaller than this, which is a 2 pixel. So what I'm doing here, I'm giving the size of the text is 2 pixel and reload this file. And you can see this is not even the like readable now. No one can read this now. So we have a full command over the size of the text. That's how we use our font size. So now we have the font weight. So let me just comment it out so that it has the default value. If this and then refresh. Okay, so we have this font and the default size. The next we will learn about the font weight. So what is font weight? Font weight, if you want to make it more bolder, let's suppose if I type bold here, save this and then refresh. So now as you can see, this is a little bolder. You can like see this. I have just removed this and reload this. Now it is not bold and I'm just comment it off, save this file and as soon as I refresh it, it will become bold. So refresh this and it became bold. So that's how you have control over the boldness as well. So we have the fonts, we have a text. In the text, we can change everything. If we want to change any color of the text, if we want to make it bold, if we want to make changes on the sizing of the text, if we want to even want to change our font size, we want to change our font style as well. We can change that as well. So for now, we have learned this fonts as well. So any questions about fonts so far? Okay, I'm studying. Can I get code so that I can understand? Okay, so what I will do here, I will like drop the file of yesterday code. Please explain the button border. Okay, so where it is? Button border. Uh, okay, in all the properties or the single property you want to like asking? Can you please specify a single property like the radius, color, or the all the properties? Last property. Okay. So the border width. Okay. So border width is refers to how much width of the border. Okay. So let me just first what I will be doing. I will comment it out, save this file, and you can see the change. Right now it is a default width. Width we can say in the text we say the size of the text, and in the border we say the width. This is the same. So if I uncomment this, save this file and refresh this is a much bigger. We have control over it as well. So if we write a 10 pixel, it will become less width. I type 20 pixel, have much bigger than the more width I have. Is it clear? Is it clear? Or should I like give the another example? Clear. Okay, good. Okay, so now till now we have learned the how this like how we can change the font text button and these type of things. Now what I will be doing here, now we have this like the very important concept which is a classes and a IDs. Okay, so what classes are and what divs are. So so first I will be explaining what classes are. Let me just comment this all. Okay, here and now the classes. We have a classes and IDs. What classes and IDs? So this is basically a method to make changes in the website with the use of HTML tags and CSS. How we can do that? So if I go with the definition, let me just code it so that you can understand it. I'm again using the p tag and I'm writing the class. That's how we use it. If we want to use any class, we write class and then just give any name you want. I'm just writing like the ABC. You can give any name you want and just type anything like hi, I am Harsh. I am Harsh. Okay, and then save this file. Now I'm just going here. Now what I will be doing here, I just applied dot ABC. You have observed in the p tag whenever I using the same like the HTML tag in the p, in the ol tag, in the list tag, in the button tag, in p tag, this these are called the HTML tag. I was directly using them, so that's why I'm giving them directly button. I'm not using any dot or anything. I'm just writing the name of the tag and the parentheses, the curly braces, you can say the curly braces, and inside that I'm writing the CSS. But what I did here, I make the changes to class and now I'm calling that class. So instead of making this p, I'm calling it by the class. By calling from the class, what we need to make a simple change to make our simple dot initially when we are defining a name. And now if I do the same, it will work. Okay, the color of the text, let's say a log green. Save this file and then refresh this. Okay, so now it is coming with hi, I am Harsh. So the text is also changed. Why is that? Because the p tag is also here. Here is a p tag, the element tag I have, and the class I have. Class you can refer as uh, this is the we have in our website we have the lot of p tags, a lot of h1 tags. This is a simple example. This is a simple, you can say, a web page which I'm creating. It doesn't have anything. I have just only a simple one line of code which is written in the p paragraph format, one ordered list, one button, and again one p. But in the original web pages we have thousands of p's. We have hundreds of like the list, the h1 tag, the buttons. So to manage these things we can't write p, because if I did, then for example, if I am writing again, I am writing p, and now I'm writing the welcome. Again I'm giving a hi there, hi there, and then save this file and then just refresh this. As you can see, this p tag, this p tag and this p tag, these three are same, but the difference is in the first p tag I applied the class, and inside that class I have written this piece of code which is saying color should be, text color should be a green. But in the second and third tag I haven't applied it, so it is not working on that. But I have also given the p tag. So in the p tag, just change like I have what I said in the CSS file, whatever we have. in our web page, if it has the p tag, then change its entire font change inside this p tag. I'm asking. Font size should be bold, font weight should be bold, font family should be this type, which is I use say magic. Because in this like we have the three paragraphs. The first also a p tag, yes. Third is also second as well. So these three all are p tags. So what it is doing? Okay, so we have the three p tags right in the website. So I think we have this applied. So what it does? It applied all the like all the CSS in the p tag, but it didn't apply this because it doesn't contain the classes. So that's how we use the classes. If we want to make changes in any particular file, but not on file, on tag. If we want to change this particular tag, but we don't want it to change this, so how we can do that? We can make the classes. So if I remove this class and this, so let's save, and then just refresh this. This is same as p tag. So this is called the classes. That's how we use classes. So now IDs. How we use IDs? Let me just save this so that okay. So this is called the class. That's how we write classes. Okay. So now it's a term of ID. So IDs refers to a tag. It is a similar of class. A 90% properties are similar as we have in class. Classes and IDs you can say are similar but not same. In IDs, in the web page, if we have the id, we can call it anytime through this id. We will learn it how we can do that in the javascript. In that we call the element by its ids. Okay, so every element has its own id. If we want to give it to the id, and if we call it through the javascript, then we can call it. So right now you can just simply understand IDs and classes both are same, but IDs is refers to it has a specific ID. You can say we have a smart card, we have a Aadhaar number, so it like it different it like it is like different from all, right? It will be a different from everyone. So ID is like the same. It would be a different for everyone, and if we want to make changes, we can call this id. Okay, so we can change this particular id. So right now let's just take any example, and what I did here, I just gave the id with the name of def. You can write any name def, like you can write any name. And in the class, just type a hash. In the class we type dot abc, and if we want to define an id, then we call hash. So let's say hash called def. So def, and what I'm doing is to changing again a color of the text, which is say a yellow. And save this and refresh this. Okay, so our second tag is yellow. So as I said, classes and IDs are similar but not same. It has all the properties of classes, but with a unique property. It has also the specific IDs. It can only use once in our web page. If you have this p tag with this ID, you can't make another ID as well. You can like if I want to make this class, I'm doing class dot abc. Okay, space, save this. Okay, so what I did here, the first I gave p tag a class. In the second, I gave ID to the class, and the third I gave again class with the ABC. So this first tag and this third tag are same. So if I refresh this, okay, so the first and third are same because we can use classes multiple times, but we can't use IDs multiple times. We can only use it once. Okay, so this is the basic difference of classes and IDs. The classes can be used many times, and the IDs can't be used many times. So let me just comment it out. And oh yeah. Now the div comes here. So yesterday I talked about div, how div works. Like it has a container type structure. We put all the codes in it. So now I will be explaining you how this div works, because div is an HTML element, but it doesn't work without CSS. So if I write div and I have p tag with you can say I'm writing Hirsch one. Again, I'm taking this code 5 times, and the class I'm giving is uh, say a pop. Again, I'm going here, just typing dot pop, and I'm giving the like the div. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I'm giving the font. Here. The font size should be at 20 pixel. Control S save and just refresh this. So as you might observe here, I just gave the p tag. What I did here, I just made a box. Inside this div box, I applied 5 elements. When I change this box, these elements will also change. This is a property of div. That's how we use any div. If we change anything in the div, it reflects its child elements. So what if I write here a font size? I wrote the font size. If I want to make them center, so text align, I will simply type center. Pull a save and then refresh file. So now these are all center. So that's how we use div. If if we make the div move from one side to another, inside these elements will also move, because I haven't give any p tag, any class or anything. I just give the div, but they are also moving because they are inside this div. They are inside this box. So that's why they are also moving. So the next property, so this was div, and the next property we have is about the background. How background we can change. So let's take another div, and this div, let's give it a class of a box. Save this, and now I will go to here, my CSS file, and just type box, curly braces, and open this. So now I want to create a box. Let me just refresh this first. Okay, so nothing is on our web page right now. So what I will be creating a box. So I have first what I will be doing. I will be giving a background color. Background color. Let's suppose I want to give a green color. Save this file and refresh this. So nothing is appearing. Why it is not appearing? Because inside the div we don't have any content. As you can see, we have defined the div tag. We have the class, but we don't have any content inside it. Okay, so but we can make a box as well by using a width keyword. So what it is doing is specifying the width. So what is width? Width is a horizontal plane of your website, which is at this. You can see my mouse sweeping with this is called the horizontal. This is called the width. So I want the width of, let's say, 30 pixel. Save this file and then refresh. But it doesn't have height as well. So I want to give the height, say height of 30 pixel as well. Control S save and then refresh. So as soon as I refresh, a box came up. But if I remove these width and height, save this and then refresh this, it disappears. Why is that? Because the div doesn't have any content. Inside the div, we don't have any content. So what we are doing, we are by using CSS, we are saying, okay, so it doesn't have any content, never mind. What we are doing, we are giving the width of 30 pixel, like the horizontal, it should be have the width, like you can say it should have the 15 centimeter length. In the terms of website, we say it has a 30 pixel of the width, and it should be the height of 30 pixel as well. So as soon as I write it, save this file and refresh this, a box appeared. So that's how background property works. So this is, let's say, we have websites as well which have a dark mode. Have you seen, like on the many, like on like every phone we have the dark mode on our file manager, or if we go to our settings, then there's a dark mode. So what it does, it makes our background dark, so there is a whitish background in our web page. What I want is to make this a very like change the color. So how can I do that? So to change the back, so to like to change the website background, it's not about the to change the tag background. It's about to change the background of your website. So how you can do that? So just type star. Star is stands for all the web page. It's a supreme tag, you can say. Star, it's the it so in if we're writing p tag, in the p it searches for p tag and it apply property. But in the star, what it is doing, it is saying, okay, so inside this star we have a css which we needs to apply in this whole web page, not even a single tag, not even a two or three tags, but on the whole web page. So I will be typing here a background color of, let's say, purple. In this file, and as soon as I refresh this, our whole page has been changed. So this is called the star property, the background property. That's how we can change our content. So this is called the background property. So we can also do one thing. Either we can do this like putting the star and background color, or what you can do is there's another property. It is called the background repeat. And it's called repeat, except there's a three property. Basically it is a two, but the third one is to make both at once. So if I write repeat x, so what it will do, it will repeat this particular box in the x direction. So as soon as I refresh this, it is not changing. Why? Okay, so because we don't have anything in the background, because it is not specified by the color. Okay, so before that, before applying this background repeat, like the attribute, what I will be doing here, I will apply the image. So just comment it out, and we will apply the image, make it background, background image. Yes, here it is, image, and I want the URL, which is called the a. But what was the we have the image of ABC. Okay, so we have ABC dot png. So now let's save this and refresh this. Is okay, so we haven't this. Let me take another thing. Okay, so let me just remove this URL tag. So what I can do this file image and paste the link of it. So the image. Wait. Let's take the URL. I took the URL and just take any random just take any image from the websites. Like I'm going to unsplash.com and taking any image. Let's take this image and save this. It's saved. I want this to my desktop. Change the name of this. I will type ABC1 and just save this. Or what I can do is to no, we can take this as well. Okay. So here, what I will be typing abc1 dot jpg. Save this and then go to this day and resume. So this is picture is coming. So let me just make it width more bigger. Just comment this all so that the image can be of full width. Refresh this. Okay, so is it? I think it must be an error. Okay, the background image is here. Hmm. Okay, here, this is here class box. Okay, so I think the maybe the link could be an error. Okay, so we will sort it out at the end. So let's just move on. Now we have this much of properties in the background. So any questions so far, like in the background or in the classes or IDs? Okay. So now let's move on to the next properties we have. The basic properties we have. It's like again I'm using p tag. No, let's not suppose use p tag. Now I'm using let's say a h1 tag. Okay. No, it's not a CSS. It's HTML. So first I will write the h1 tag. Okay. So this is called the hello world. Yeah, for hello CSS. With this, and I will go here and just type h1 and curly braces and enter. And now I want some basic, I will introduce you some basic properties of the text about the positioning. Okay, so let me just refresh this. Okay, so please, hello, CSS. So first we will make it white with this and reload. Okay, so it is white now. Now what I will be doing here is to, whenever I hover it, it becomes the cursor change. So let me do this cursor pointer. So what this cursor pointer does is, so whenever you go on that text, it will uh, this cursor will change on the copied side. Let me just save this. This Let's save this file. Refresh it. So as soon as you will observe, my mouse is hovering over this, and yeah, it become pointer. So as you can see, my mouse has become the pointer. So that's how, if you want to make any pointers on the website, like on the text or anything, you can do that as well. So now we have a float. So what float does is to shift content from left, right, up, down, anything. Okay. So if you write left, if you write, we have the default left. If you write right, enter, and then refresh here, and this is how it will shift from left to right. It means it is out of the page. It is left, right. Okay. So now the next property. Uh, okay. So here is no code. Comment it out. The next property we have is like the clear. For clear, I will be taking the opacity of this text. Let me just refresh this. Okay. So say if this file and then refresh this. Okay, so by default it is here. So now I will be defining the opacity of this text. So whenever you visit any website, you might be observed there is some text which has a very low intensity. So what I mean by low intensity is the opacity. So opacity, it's like, it by default it has one value, so you will see no change here because by default we have the intensity of one. The particular that text h1 content, we have the opacity of one. So what if I type zero point 0.5 and then just save this and refresh this, so this opacity decreases. You will observe, if I uncomment it, or I just made it one, save this file and refresh this, its default value opacity which is one, and zero point 0.5, save this, refresh this, and as you can see the opacity decreased. Okay, so that's how we we do things like this. So now I will be introducing some like you can say a pseudo code. So pseudo code, or you can say a pseudo selector. So what it does is to make your website uh, more interactable or more dynamic for the user. So what I want is this, and then over. So I applied here H1, and in the next I applied H1 and hover. So what it will be do here, whenever you hover over it, it will change its property. So let's take this for an example. So Control C, I removed this from above and paste it here. So now what it will do, in the H1 tag, we have the color text, we have the cursor pointer, and whenever any user hover over this text, it will decrease its opacity. As soon as you hover this, you can see the opacity is decreasing. Okay, so this is how you use the hover property. I can apply many properties, like if I want the color to be a green, let's say a yellow green, I refresh this. So as soon as I hover this, so this property changes. Okay, so this is called the hover property. So if I type red and then save this file and then refresh it again, if I hover it, it will become red. So that's how we use hover properties. So we have a lot of like the pseudo selectors. After this session, I will give you a cheat sheet so that uh, with this hover, these are called the pseudo selectors. So I'm writing here, which is this is called the pseudo selectors. These are called the pseudo selectors. They are a pre-written which we can use by hover. We have many types, like which we have hover, visited, link, first letter. So by this we can have the many features in our website so that user experience would be a much greater. Okay, so we have the pseudo. So till now we have read about the font size, background, the properties of buttons, the floating, the cursor, the text changing. If someone wants to hover over it, it can change the property. We have learned about the border properties as well, and now we will learn the basic properties. So what are the basic properties? If let me just comment this out. Now we have some basic properties, which is a margin. Let's suppose I don't want. Let me just little zoom this. No, not this. Zoom out this. Okay, yeah. So now it is good. Okay, so what if I want to make we? I don't want to make this here. I just want a little bit, like मुझे यहाँ से थोड़ा सा दूर चाहिए. So how can I do that? So for that we have the margin. Margin, you can say a left. So what this tag does is to make a little margin from this left side. If I type 100 pixel, save and refresh, so as you can see the 100 pixel, the space has been lifted from the left. So this is how you can take the margin. It's the word define itself as well. The margin, you want the margin from the left side. How much margin you want? 100 pixel margin I want. You can change it by 500 as well. You can save this and just write this. So it is a 500 pixel. It go beyond the page. So it is not for the user experience. So I will be typing 100 only. Do this and then here. So we have the many properties. With the same, you can do margin on top as well. If I type margin on top, yop, not yop, top. So I want the top from the like same 100 pixel. Let's suppose. So if I save this and as soon as I refresh, so it again took the 100 pixel from above. So this is how margin works. So if you want the margin, all the properties, it has also left property, it has also right, top property, left. You can also write left, right, these things. So that you can adjust your content throughout your web page. You can adjust any of your content on any position in your web page. Okay, So we have now we know the margin. So again, it has a single property as well. Because if you want to write a left, let me just take you and give you an example. Uh, Comment this out, and let's suppose we have the margin from the left as well. We have the margin from the no margin not from the left. Let's suppose we have the margin from the right as well. It is a 100 pixel margin from the like the bottom. We don't want bottom margin from the bottom, but we are taking it 100 pixel and just refresh this. So now what we are doing is to making this, these are all same. So either what we can do is, instead of writing these four, I can write only 100 pixel because I want all in all direction. I want the 100 pixel. What if I want, I want to change this, I want this from the 200 pixel. So what I will be do here, the first here, it's called the top margin. The second we have the bottom margin. Third we have the first we have top, the second we have right, third we have bottom, and the fourth we have left. So in the cheat sheet, this all will be written on the on the cheat sheet so that it would be like easy to understand you. Okay, so the top right, this is bottom, and this is called the left. Control S save. So this four line of code can be written in one line as well. This is the convention you can use. Okay, so now we know about the margin as well. So now we have the last property of the day, which is called the padding. So to understand padding, we will again create a box. So we will comment it out. Again, we will create a box, or okay, let's just create again a box with a class of let's say a box 2. I named it 2. Save this, and again, so this is like me just box, and then I want the box 2, and the box should be width of, let's say, 300 pixels, and the height should be of 300 pixels as well. Okay, I just want this. Let's save and refresh this. Okay, so is it not coming because I haven't given the background? Let me just give the background. Background color is the let's say a red, and then save this file and refresh this. Okay, so we have the box which is a width of 300 pixels and height of 300 pixels. So now what I'm gonna do here is to like make the padding. Let me just like some content also so that we can understand it more better. So hello CSS, save this, and as soon as I refresh this, so here is written hello CSS. So in the margin, if I applied margin here, so just observe here. If I applying margin left with the use of 100 pixels, if I refresh this, the box is shifting. The box is shifting from the website. Okay, but if I am applying padding left, then the inside box, then the you can say the content inside the box itself will increase. So if I type 100 pixel in the padding, I applied margin left. So what it did, it became it took the margin from the left in the website. But by applying padding, let's see what we'll do. What will be done. Okay. So what it did here, it took the 100 pixel from inside. Let me just comment it out so that we can see the difference. Right now, I have only a margin. I just commented out the padding, so it will not apply. So just refresh this. Okay. So this hello.css has been sticked to this left hand side. And as soon as I uncomment this, save this file and refresh this, so this difference occur. So that's how it is making the difference. The padding means the container itself will increase, it will take the margin, but from the inside. It will take the margin from the border of of the itself. In the margin, it will take the margin from the website, but in the padding, it will take the margin from inside. It's a new way of taking the margin, but we call it padding. It's in the margin we took the outside margin. In the padding we took the inside margin. So, any questions about padding, pseudo selectors, or the like float, cursor pointer, color cells, like in the background properties, like the margin? Any doubt and anything about it? Okay, so right now we have done all the things. So as I said in the initial stage, we have the three type of CSS. So in this today's workshop, we were applying external CSS majorly, because majorly we will use CSS whenever in your entire life. When you will work on any web development, any website project, then you will create an external CSS. There is not recommended to use inline CSS or internal CSS, but I will be telling you now what inline CSS is, what external CSS is, and what internal CSS is, because now we will get it better. Okay. So till now we were using external CSS because we were applying the link. So now what I will be doing here, I just comment it out. So the all the CSS will be gone. If I refresh this, see, all the CSS is gone. Why? Because I comment the link of the file which link CSS to the HTML. I commented out. So it void itself. So now I will create a inline CSS. So in inline CSS, so let me just take this. So first we will see the inline CSS. So in inline CSS, okay, we will be applying, it is called the style. It's not here. So it's called the style. We are applying the CSS inside. So let me just take the background, like the background color not appearing. Background color, okay, background color of, let's take aqua, okay, and I also want the width. I also want the width of, let's say, 300 pixels, and again, I also want the height. I also want the height of 300 pixels. As soon as I save this, so this is called the inline CSS. We are applying CSS inside this div. This is called the inline, and as soon as I refresh this box will appear. Okay, this is the same CSS we are applying in the external CSS, but what we are doing here, we are making the CSS in line, inside this line, inside this particular line. We are writing the CSS inside this particular line. Okay, so this is called the inline CSS. So I will just make this comment. No, I can't comment it out. Okay, so let's just comment this out. And now, I will be making another, let's say, hello CSS for internal internal CSS. Okay, and I will be applying a class which is called uh, like the box 3. Save this, and we have learned the external CSS. We have learned the internal inline CSS. Now it's time to learn the internal CSS. So what internal CSS is? In internal CSS, it means you need to define it internally. In inline, you define it line. In external, you define externally. But in internal, you need to define it internally. So how we can do that? So again, we will go to head section, and to define that, we have a separate thing for that. What we will be writing, we will write style. Okay, in this style tag, we can write anything in it. Okay, so this is called the internal CSS. Let me just do this so that we can get the results. Again, I will be typing the same thing, which is a background color of, let's say this time would be a blue violet. And the next we have the width, let's say this time I will be taking the 200 pixels, and the height should be of 200 pixels. That's it should be enough. Okay, so what I did here, I just, in the head section, remember this is the head section. Inside this head section, I applied initial tag, starting tag, style, and an ending tag with this slash. Ending tag ends with slash. So this ending tag, and inside this tag, I will be writing my CSS as I writing in my external. So now this is the same as I'm writing in the external CSS. I will be writing the same in internally as well. But I just need to do I just need to do one thing. I'll need to apply this style, starting tag and ending tag. So I save this file, and as soon as I refresh this, see the difference. The background would be a blue violet. So refresh this. Okay, so our background is blue violet. So this is how the website works. This is how the CSS works. The background, the internal CSS, external CSS. So any questions about the inline, external, or internal CSS? If you didn't get any point, like in inline CSS, how we can apply the things. Because after that, I will be making a simple login page so that you can understand it, how these things work. Any questions for this, like the types of CSS? Okay, maybe nothing. Okay, so now we will work on a simple project, which is a login page. Okay, so I will be opening a file which is on desktop, and the form, where is the form? Yes, this form is we have created yesterday. So this was the form. Okay, so let me just open this as well. Okay, and remove this. Okay, so now we have this form. So how we can make it more beautiful for the users, because it is looking a little ugly, little I not even little, it is looking bizarre for today's world, because no one will be no one will like to use it if it will look like that. So we will make the changes in it, so, and we'll make it beautiful. So here I will be typing a link. I will be using the external CSS here. I will be type a form.css, and I haven't created the file yet, so I will be creating the form.css, form.css. Enter. So now I have the two files. First is form.html, and the second is form.css. So first of all, I will be making them center so that it will be looking more to the aligned to the page. Okay. So in the form, so as you can see, all the content which is written, it is written inside this form. So I will be writing this form tag. So I haven't applied any dot or hash, because this is a simple HTML tag. That's why I'm writing. So this is the text line and enter. As soon as I save this, so as soon as I refresh it will be on the center. So now this name and this user, this naming tag, the text field is coming below this. I want it in front of this. So what I will be doing here, I will just writing span, not maybe here, maybe here. Just type span here. And if this, what this span does is to remove a line break. As soon as I refresh this, it is not coming. Why? Because the internally we haven't done this. Okay, so maybe this is not here. Just make it a little bit. maybe the thing is a little bit here. Okay, move this here from. So let's save and then refresh this. Okay, so we have this same page as well. So now what I will be doing here is to make the change is not to make the change. I will be typing not even a line break. This input tag Control C and here Control V. As I save this, refresh this. So as you can see here, now the text field is right side of the name. So this is like this looks more good. So the same thing I will do here. I'll just copy this, Control C and back this and paste this. So I paste the input tag inside the paragraph tag. So this is looking a little good. So now I want the margin from top. So what I will be doing here, I will be take the margin from the top and of let's say a 200 pixels. Save and then just refresh. Okay, so now it is in the middle. It looks like in the middle. And let's suppose I want the background to be changed because this is looking a pure white background. So this background, so not simply right background. I want the star. Okay. Now the background should be colorful. So let's take a background. Let's say a blue. Let's say a blue violet. Save the file and then refresh this. Okay. So now this is looking a little good in the point of view of the user. And this color should and the color should be text color should be a white. That's right, white. Control S save. If it is not, Control S save and then refresh this. Okay. So all text are white now. So now I will be changing this name field. So in the name, what we have in the name. Okay. So now I will be taking the class which is a username, and here I will type class of the password. As I said, you can write any name you want in the class. So I wrote this. So in the name, so before the name, I want the font size would be a good to be look good. So I will take the font from the Google Fonts and just select from this fonts. Let's say I want this text. It's not looking too good, but just take this and select this style. And we need to do two things. Just copy this link from here and paste the link here. Save this file and again just go below this font size, copy this font size and then just paste it here. Control S save and then just refresh it. So the font has been changed. So now we will work on our form section, form input section, form in p tag in p with a have of class. So as I'm writing inside this p form, this form I have p tag with a class. This p tag with a class of username. So I write it like this. So what I want is to like let's say not even the p tag in the username we have this input, but we want to be change the input. So input should be a background color of the of like suppose white. Let's save this and resume. Okay, so now it is white. So and I want to the border width, not even the border width. I want just a width of let's say a 20, not even to 20 pixel. Let's say a 50 pixels. Save this and refresh. 50 pixel a lot smaller. So let's take it 120. Refresh this. It again it is not as bigger. So again I'm changing. Okay, so now it is looking more like predictable. Now again I will be writing height. But one height, just type the border radius. Let's take a 10 pixels so that the border would be curved And now we have the border. The border I will type the 2 pixel. We have the white, and it should be of solid. Save this and refresh this. Okay, so now we have this creepy animation, but as soon as I click on it, this ugly border came. So to remove this, I need to type outline or none. Save this and then refresh. So now it will not appear. Okay. Okay, so inside this, there's nothing coming. So I need to type color dot, let's say a blue. Same text we have given for this. So now it will appear like this. Okay. Again, I will just give the margin from the left of 10 pixels so that it would be a much gooder in looking. Okay. So the same property I will give to the this input section of password. So the form, again I will write form dot not dot p dot password, and then I will give the same property as I give above. So control S save and then refresh. Okay, so what I did wrong here? Okay, I didn't write the input. Save this and then okay. So now it is looking a little bit better than before. So now I need to change this button submit. So now what I will be do here, first to take this. Okay, now I will be type a BR, which is a line break, because I want button to appear at the end. So refresh this. So now it is appearing at the end. So form and input, let's take a class of it. Class is like, let's say a submit. Click on this CSS and just type form input dot submit. And then inside this, we will be typing a margin because we want a margin from the top. So I will type margin top, which is a 20 pixels. Control S save and refresh. And with the background of the color, background of button, I will say background color should be, you can say, a white. Let's save, and as soon as I refresh this, okay, so this is white, but the text inside of it should be a black, or I can say a blue violet. Violet. I save this and refresh this file. Okay, so it is not like showing as I was thinking. So I will make the size bigger, which is 30 pixels. Same, save. Okay, so now it is looking much bigger. Now the border size, the border radius should be 10 pixels. Save this, refresh. Okay, so it changed, but it is not as desired we were thinking about. So we will again save this and make this time a 20 pixel and reload this. Okay, so now it is looking a little bit good. So for the width, I will be giving a 120 pixels. Save this and refresh again. So let's take it a little more. So 140 pixels. Refresh this. Okay, so now it is looking a little good. So again for the border, I am writing the border, and for that I have given the 3 pixel of border with a white border. I want the white border, and it should be solid. Solid means it should be a straight line, not the dotted line, not anything, but it should be straight line. So as soon as I refresh this, so it will, okay, so it is demanding for this, and I need to give the outline should be a none because I don't want any outline. So you will change the color from here. The file would be given from here, and you can submit it from here. So as soon as you submit, you need to be redirect on the other page. So what I'm doing here, uh, in this, you can say instead of writing this post, what I want is to go to another page after submitting form. You will redirect to the another pages, right? So what I want is to go on my let's say a CSS .html. I want to go my earlier page that I have created. So after finishing this, the user will be get back to the uh, which the file of css.html which we have created earlier. So this my name is Harsh Gupta, and let's say the password would be could be anything. I choose the file. If you didn't choose the file, it will show an error because you need to choose the file. So choose the file. Let's say open and then submit. As soon as you submit, okay. So there is a post error. Okay. So type submit. Okay. Okay. css.html ही लिखा है मैंने यहाँ पे because I haven't refreshed it. Okay. So there was a problem. So I need to refresh this. I type my name and a thing. Just do this the file and then submit. Okay, so I redirect to my css.html file. So that's how you create a form uh, with the use of CSS. And for today, it is like now you can create your own web page. So now you know how HTML works, how CSS works, uh, how the how the things you can align in the websites. Okay, so on the third day, we have the JavaScript. So on the JavaScript, we will be it would be an interactable session because in tomorrow's session it would be on the backend type as well. So when the user click on anything, the changes will occur according to that. So for today, it was about the CSS. So any question on today on any topic about the CSS or anything like in the login page we have created. Let me just put it here. So any questions about how I did this, how I did the div, how I mentioned the div, and the submit button or the file, anything? Please say a cheat sheet. Okay, so right now I'm giving you a two thing, a cheat sheet and a quiz. The quiz is about the CSS, which we have wrote all the topics. It is a combined topics, and the quiz is about the CSS. So you can do that. So right now I'm sharing the two links in the group in our WhatsApp group, which is cheat sheet and the CSS quiz. Okay, so I shared on the group. Please share the cheat sheet yesterday as well. Okay, okay, I will share it. I already shared the cheat sheet. Okay, thank you so much. So now you can leave. You can please join the quiz as well. Thank you so much.